Hi everyone, welcome to NYP Music Theory. Today our harmonic analysis is Freut euch, ihr Christen alle. Rejoice all you Christians. It is R8 from Albert Riemenschneider edition. This chorale is originally in F Dorian. The modal key signature is -3, means with 3 flats. Bracket F means F is the tonic or the first note. Bach added D flats and converted it to F minor. Remember to write down all the triads in F minor and the related key chart. It will be good if you can put it in your mind. Alright, let's get started. The beginning start with E flat major or C minor key signature, but we know that this is not E flat major nor C minor because it starts with an F minor chord, and the first fermata ends with a 5-1 in F minor. According to the research, we know that this actually is F Dorian mode, but Bach adds the D flat to make it F minor. The second beat of bar 1 is very special with the A natural, and there's an E natural towards the end. We can make a conclusion that it ends with F minor. So in this process, it might be tonicization. We take this A natural as the leading note of B flat minor, and B flat minor is the fourth chord of F minor. So we can say this is a 5-7-D of 4 resolves to 4. But when the fourth chord changes to first inversion, we got to write 4B. So this is a tonicization. And after that, it goes to 1C of F minor. Then towards the end is the typical cadential formula, 2-7B, 5-1. We observe that there is an anticipation or a note of anticipation before the cadence. This is also one of the non-chord tones, but we haven't mentioned it from R1 to R7. The note of anticipation anticipates the final note. In the beginning of the second phrase, it starts with a pivot chord. 1 in F minor is equal to A flat 6. Then immediately go to 5-7-D to 1B. And then towards the end, we also observed a second time of using cadential formula, 2-7B, 5-1. As we move on to the third and the fourth phrase, again there is an anticipation near the end. For modulation, this 4 is the continuation of A flat major. But after that, the 7B used as a pivot chord to F minor, 2B. Then 5 goes to 6, and then cadential formula, 2-7B, 5-1. In the beginning of the fourth phrase, we can find an A natural and a D flat. We can assume the A natural is the leading note of B flat minor. So the first beat can be a 5 in B flat minor, then carry on to its first inversion, then goes to a 1 in B flat minor, then goes to 1B. I will take it as a modulation to B flat minor. And there's no pivot chord from the previous bar because the A flat directly or abruptly to B flat minor. After the 1B, we can take this as a pivot chord back to A flat major Now we come to the fifth and the sixth phrase. In the beginning, it continues with A flat major, and we also observe the soprano is using two repeated notes, first two bars. The bass is using a root position and the first inversion of a chord. The third and the fourth beat also use the same pattern by inserting a passing note in between and then going back to the root position. Passing note in between and then going back to the root position. After the 2B, take this as a pivot chord. Towards the end, modulate to B flat minor, as we can observe from the bass. And also there is a D flat and a G flat, and A natural as the leading note of B flat minor. At the end of the cadence, the one chord in B flat minor acts as a pivot chord, 4 in F minor, then goes to 570 to 1B, and there is a passing 6-3 and end with a cadential formula. In the alto part, we can observe there is a 7-6 suspension. The E natural prompts us to think of F minor. Let's listen to these two phrases. Let's continue to look at the seventh and eighth phrase. In the beginning, it is F minor 1 goes to 1B, and there is a passing note in between. This 1B acts as pivot chord and equals to C minor 4B, and then resolves to 1 in C minor and then 1B. Towards the cadence, the bass note G, G, C, and the C chord convince us that this is a 5-1 with the leading note B natural, and the E natural is using a tierce diphthong. We have a 4-3 suspension in the tenor, and the rest we can observe the continuation of using passing notes makes the bass line a scalic passage. The eighth phrase starts with a downward scalic movement, and we start to confirm with the A flat major at the end with the D flat 5-1 cadence. And this A natural to B flat, just take it as a tonicization. FAC, it's a 5 of 2 to 2. Then come back to A flat major 1B and then 5-1, perfect cadence. We observe another anticipation and also a 4-3 suspension but with decoration. We call it decorated suspension. The alto A flat, prepare for the suspension A flat, and G is supposed to be the resolution. But before this note, the suspension goes down a third before it resolves to the G. The final phrase with an interesting quaver movement in the bass line. The pattern is using the root position of a chord and then add in auxiliary note and passing note. Join them to make a quaver movement. Then the next chord is using the root position and the first inversion, using passing note and going back to the root of the chord. Same pattern used again in the next measure. The third measure here is using almost the same, but this time the auxiliary is going down. Lower auxiliary note and going up, lower auxiliary note, and also an accented passing note. And in this part, the tenor and the bass is overlapped. At the end, we can see a firm 5-1 cadence with the leading note E natural of F minor, and also the F minor chord, change it to F major chord using tierce diphthong again. So we can observe the common usage of tierce diphthong in minor keys. Let's listen to the last phrase again. Alright, I hope you can enjoy this harmonic analysis with modal key signature. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful or interesting, please subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.